Two Wolves is the second episode of Dune Prophecy. They introduce, I believe, a couple of more of the ladies in the Bene Gesserit. One of those characters is played by Tessa Bonham Jones, and she plays Lady Shannon, the blonde. And we see that the character of Desmond, the actor from Vikings, Travis Fimmel, I think the guy's name is, his character is an anomaly because he was eaten by the worm on Arrakis. And we hardly see Arrakis, but we get to see the other planets. And there was a planet called something Secundus, and I believe we see the planet where the Emperor is from. So that's one of the things I like about the show, is that we get to see some of the other planets in this universe. But the character of Desmond, his character's an anomaly because he was eaten by the worm and didn't die. And apparently the worm gave him some sort of power, some sort of psychic power or something, that he's able to burn people just by looking at them. So this is supposed to be a prequel, right? But I never read the book Sisterhood of Dune, which is what this show is based on. But I did see the sci-fi miniseries Children of Dune. And in Children of Dune, remember, Paul Muad'Dib's son at the end of Children of Dune is swallowed by one of the worms. And he becomes the God Emperor worm. So it's kind of weird that this story is taking almost the end of what happened in Children of Dune and taking that storyline. So that's what makes it kind of interesting. It's a prequel, but this is why I'm actually gonna go to Audible and listen to the book. But I also have to go through the Dune books, right? Because I've only really read the first Dune book. But I have to read through the Dune series because I feel like they're getting stuff also not only from Sisterhood of Dune, but from some of the other books. This story is really interesting. And yeah, to people who have ADD or they can't really listen to the story, they're not going to understand what's going on. But they're developing the characters. This show is got to another level this episode. I thought these past two episodes together, when you watch them back to back, it's really good. I wish they would have released 2 episodes at once, you know? But now this episode made the last episode even better. Because the first episode I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then now we get to see some more of the plot unravel here. So definitely the Desmond character who was swallowed by the worm, that's really interesting. We see that the Emperor now doesn't care about the Bene Gesserit, now that he has Desmond's character, right? And the power of Arrakis. So we see why the Bene Gesserit have a history, right? In the Dune movie of playing with power, right? On Arrakis, right? In favor for the Emperor. Now, what I want to know is, there's the Bene Gesserit used the Emperor to control the universe. Now their power is being threatened by this guy on Arrakis, right? The similarities to the Dune movies. So I'm really interested to see where this story is gonna go. And I actually like this more than the movies. You know, I didn't like the new Dune movies because they didn't include the guild navigators, and here we're getting to see more of the ships. And you know, Denis Villeneuve, the director of the Dune movies, he's only a producer on these. And I think when some people work better as producers, because these last two Dune movies, especially part 2, you know, I'm very critical of the third act in Dune part 2 because they completely cut out the character of Paul Muad'Dib's sister. And she was the one who was supposed to kill the Harkonnen, the Baron Harkonnen. She's a major character, and for them not to include her in the movies, what are they gonna do in the sequels? Because she's such a major character in the sequels that they really did bad on Dune Part 2. Alright? Also, no sonic weapons. Did you notice that? Dune Part 2 had 0 sonic weapons. And I'm like, whoa. That's another thing that I liked from the Frank Herbert movie was the unique imagery, you know? And knowing how successful these retro themes and everything are, I'm surprised that they haven't incorporated some of the Geiger designs from the 1984 Dune in the Dune series or in some of the new Dune movies. So I would like to see some of like the original Harkonnen troopers that look like they were in hazmat suits. They could bring all these costumes back in like and have like a modern take, right? So you like in the Battlestar Galactica remake, they had the old Cylons and they had the new Cylons. So they could do something to mix the retro with the new, you know. So far this new Dune series, I believe the haters just want to hate because I'm really liking it. I'm really digging it. This is no Rings of Power. You know, this is a very adult, a very mature series, right? And it's based on a book. So remember, these are only the first 2 episodes. They're building the characters. And I'm not saying it's like boring or slow. It's very mature. The characters are being developed. So think along the lines of Game of Thrones. And you can listen to the book it's based on, Sisterhood of Dune, on Audible. But let me tell you, they put a lot of production value behind it. Because we've already have seen the thinking machines, right? And we've also seen a variety of sets. Well, a variety of... That's one thing is... You could tell that the sets are made of styrofoam. That they're not real rocks. They're not real stones. You know, and there's other series that film on location, like in New Zealand and everything. And I think that they were filming Dune Prophecy on the Warner Brothers lot. I can tell, that they were filming it on the Warner Brothers lot. So that's one thing. I'll give some other shows. I think I was watching another show where they were filming on location, and it was in New Zealand. Not Rings of Power, but there's like a lot of movies and a lot of shows now that are filmed in different parts of the world, and you can tell when something is filmed somewhere or when something's filmed in front of a green screen. So